Hello everyone, I'm Alan, also known as McLaren 2009, and today I'm going to be demonstrating my secure data transceiver. Basically, what the idea is, this is a secure system that can take any transmitted number data out to 6 digits on the first 10 composite the first 10 composite channels of the chosen frequency of the parent radio system. So, for this demonstration, I have attached the secure transceiver to both the IFF system and TACAN system as parts of my integrated navigation system. So, let's start by getting this set up. Pick an arbitrary number for the ID number, go down here, put this on 1, 2, those are the frequencies for the IFF system, and these are the frequencies for the TACAN system. Okay, now, as you can see, we're picking up the other integrated navigation system test set. It has a target bearing of 093. Looking at 093, it is correct. Now, this is the part where it's actually important for the encryption system. It'll be more readily apparent with the IFF system. Right now, we have the ID number, the X coordinate, Y coordinate, the altitude, the bearing, and the distance. Now, these right here are the key control settings. These actually set the encryption system. So we put the, let's say, put the IFF on 3. What this does is, inside of the microcontroller, basically this is a supplementary system, or an intermediate system that you add in between the transmitting radio system and the antenna for that system. So, inside of these modules, there are 9 tables with numbers, and it breaks down each one of these numbers into something else. Or it breaks it down into its individual components and replaces those numbers with new numbers. And that is how it encrypts what it's doing. Now, on the flip side, it also can receive encrypted numbers and use the same matrix to decrypt that information. So, as you can see, by changing the IFF key setting, we're now receiving nonsense. But you can see right here that I set the ID for this transponder to 123456. So, let's go over here and see what this one thinks the idea is. As you can tell, none of those numbers are correct. It thinks that it's currently at a bearing of 346, which is over that way, and it's at a distance of 11.5 kilometers. That's a bit of an increase from 10, 15 meters. But all this does is it demonstrates that the numbers have been distorted. Now, let's go, as a matter of fact, let's turn this one off first. Okay, this is no longer transmitting. So, we are receiving nothing. Now, you already know that this one is set. You go right here, we're currently set to transmit on 1 and receive on 2. And right now, the IFF system is encrypted. But I also need to demonstrate to you that it can be decrypted. So let's change this one down to transmit on 2 and receive on 1. Now, as we already know, it's currently receiving encrypted, completely nonsense numbers. As you can see right here, it still thinks it's 12 kilometers in that direction, approximately. But you already know that this is comparing the coordinates of its own GPS sensor. So there's no way it could possibly be 12 kilometers away from where it actually is. But let's say we turn this up to the third key setting. Now both the TACAN and IFF transponder are on the same frequencies, and they're using the same key to encrypt and decrypt both systems. So now, for all practical purposes, the bearing is useless, and so is the distance, but we're on the same test set. So we have no ID, no altitude, and none of that, but you know that they are now clearly detecting each other. So the target X, 7920.16132. So let's leave this screen, go back to here, 7921.16132. So it is tracking itself. So in short, in brief, that is my secure data transceiver. It can take numbers up to 6 digits on 10 composite channels for a chosen frequency, and it encrypts it using a very basic substitution cipher, and then it sends that encrypted number to the antenna, and the antenna sends it to another radio system. Basically, this information cannot be easily intercepted. Like, somebody could be on that frequency and they could get the number, but the number is going to be worthless. They can't do anything with it. It's just going to look like an arbitrary number. And then, on the other side, it can also take an encrypted number from the antenna, decrypt it using a compatible table for that chosen key setting, and send it to the radio as a properly decoded message. So, your information is secure. So anyway, that is my secure data transceiver. Thank you for your time.